Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Rob, and today we're diving into the thrilling world of car audio. If you're like me, you probably spent countless hours listening to tunes in your own car while driving all over the place. But let's be honest, the factory speakers in there aren't worth crap. It's almost like watching paint dry. Let's be real. Exhibit A, look at this stock speaker. It's like they designed it to make it sound like it's coming from a tin can. But fear not, my friends, because today we're upgrading this thing. Behold, the new speaker. These babies are going to make the car sound like it's in a concert hall. It's going to be awesome. We're talking crisp highs, low lows, the whole shebang. It's going to be great. So stay tuned and we're going to get into it. Now, after you got your speakers ordered and they came in, depending on where you got them from, you need to make sure that they're actually the correct size. So make sure you got the correct size. In my 2005 Honda CR-V, I believe it's 6.5-inch speakers that come in it. I ordered 6 3/4. Now, if you go through Crutchfield, I'm not affiliated whatsoever. If you go there, they hook you up with the brackets for it, and you can actually get the harnesses. So it's easy to clip into the old harness and put it right onto the speaker. So it might be beneficial. I know Crutchfield's a little more expensive. If you're interested in the speakers, I do have a link down below for Amazon. I get a little bit of commission from it if you actually buy it from there. But if you want all the stuff, then you can go to Crutchfield and order in there. Usually, like I said, a little bit expensive. Now let's get to the real deal. We need to start taking the door panel off. So go to your first door. I started off with the passenger front door. On all these doors, you're going to have probably 2-3 screws. It all depends on the manufacturer. But on my particular one, I have one that's where the door handle is, on the interior door handle. There's going to be a little cover right there. You need to get like a pick or a small flathead screwdriver or something. You need to pop that off. You're going to have 2 screws in there. You'll take those 2 screws off. That'll help loosen up. And there's going to be 2 more screws. They're hidden. You're going to have to look down a little bit lower than where the arm part is, where you pull the door in to close it. They're going to be 2 tucked up right neatly inside there. You're going to have to try to get a flashlight, look up in there, and you'll be able to take those out. Now that you have those 4 screws out, it should be pretty loose. So there's going to be a little triangle piece right above that door panel. It should just kind of pop off. Just go behind it or whatever, kind of pull towards you. It should unclip. That'll allow you to move the door panel up when it's time. Now, if you go to the little pocket towards the bottom of the door, if you kind of grab that, kind of snatch it real quick, pull towards you, it should pop off before you lift up. If you get a flathead screwdriver and you kind of like pry a little bit on the switch part around the bezel, you should be able to pop that off and you can unclip the harness from there. Just push the little thing, it should pop right on off. Now on the door, the interior door handle, those 2 screws that you ended up taking out, you should be able to pull that little door handle part off. There's going to be a rod going in there. You'll see it kind of goes straight and then 90s down. Well, there's a little clip over that. If you end up taking like a flathead screwdriver or something and kind of push that back, it should swing off of there. And you should be able to just lift the rod up and take that part off. Now that you have that, it should be unsecure. The door panel should just easily lift up and you pull off. Now put that off to the side. Now, I will say on the 2005 Honda CR-Vs, if you're on the driver's side, it's going to be a little bit different. You do have your window switches and stuff right there. It's a little bit bigger, but it's the same process with that, taking the wire harness off and then taking the rod off of the door handle itself. But at the bottom, you have a door popper. Now, some will have the door popper, some will have a light, might have both, but there are going to be harnesses there. So be careful when you go to take that panel off. You want to make sure those harnesses are undone. If not, you can mess up something. We don't want that. We want to do this as clean as possible. All right, now that you got the door panel off, you should see the speaker right there. Now, with some vehicles, they're bolted in, screwed in. However, with the Hondas, if you look at the actual speaker itself, it has a little black can going around that speaker. At the top, there looks like a slot. Just get a flathead screwdriver and just kind of pry a little bit. It should come right on out. And it's just attached to the harness that you can disconnect. That part is done and over with. But now it's time for you to get the new speakers out. Look at those nice things. You're popping them out of the box. They're in the plastic. They look so good. It's like Christmas morning. It's great, isn't it? So now we're going to get that. And if they are bigger than their original size, then you're going to have to alter a little bit. So if you ended up getting the bracket that came with those to make those speakers actually work, you're gonna have to mock that up on the door panel itself. Now I ended up making it so all the holes that I'm gonna use are in a good spot for the metal to grab a hold of. Then I ended up getting a Sharpie. I marked those spots while holding it up there. And then I took a little drill bit. It just depends on what size screws you have and what size drill bit that you need, but you don't want to make it too big because you want those screws to grab onto something. All right, then I ended up drilling those 3 spots, and I was able to get the speaker onto the actual bracket, the plastic bracket. I start the screw going through the speaker into the bracket. I just started a little bit so then I can match it up onto the door, and then I just tighten it up. That's how you would install the actual speaker. Now the electrical side of it, you're going to need to do one of two things. Either you can splice off the wires there and you can put ends or whatever for the speakers and clip them on there. If you've got the harnesses, then those are easy. You just clip it onto the existing harness, and then it already has the ends on there. You just tag those into the back of the speaker. Then you end up screwing the whole speaker and everything assembly onto the door itself, and you have your first speaker done. Now you'll end up having to put the door panel back on, and that was kind of reverse operation. So you can just slide the door panel back on, make sure it's seated properly. All right, and then you can pop it into place. You can start by putting your door switch harness back on and get that clipped back in. Put 2 screws underneath the door handle itself, get back in at the angles. Then you can end up getting the door handle part, the released handle. You can get the rod back in there and just swing that little plastic piece fast back over so it pops in there. Put that in there, put those 2 screws in, the little plastic piece to cover those 2 screws, and then you're done with that door. You'll do the same process with the other 3 doors as long as you just have the 4 door speakers. Now you can go further into it if you're adding amps, maybe a 5-channel amp, or the channels might go to those speakers. Then you might have a sub in the back. However it is, there's all sorts of combinations. Right now, I'm just trying to keep it as stock as I can, for the most part looking, so I don't have the sub in the back because I use the back on a lot of things. Now that you have all those speakers done, now is the time to turn it on. Just listen to that beautiful, good thumping music. Now, if you want to go into your stereo, you can adjust it on your preference because now the speakers are going to be a little bit different. Me personally, I like to sit in the driver's seat, and I like to actually put more sound to the back. So when I turn my head, it sounds like it's equal from the front to the back from where I'm sitting, because normally it's me in the car most of the time. So if it's balanced out, it actually gives a really good sound. But that's my personal opinion. Sit there and throw a little bit of the bass up here, there, maybe a little bit of treble, make it sound good to you. Tried a few different kinds of songs and types of genre music, and it's just gonna sound amazing. And you did a great job. You saved a whole lot of money doing it. You didn't have to pay a mechanic or anybody else to do it and pay all that extra money. You did it yourself. Easy peasy, baby. Now, go forth and listen to music. Make sure you don't disturb the neighbors but too much. Forget it. Who cares about the neighbors? Go ahead, have fun with it. You deserve it. You just put it all together and it sounds amazing. So there you have it, folks. Speakers installed, sounds great. Not as scary as you thought it would be, right? But if you like this video, please give me a like, subscribe. We'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out.